Time to dive into the world of college football. So we, of course, have the talk of the week, the one that everyone is actually leading their conversations on that we didn't lead on. The Oklahoma Sooners taking on the TCU Horned Frogs. You think that they play TCU? Why the hell would you talk about them? Quarterbacks. Comes to find out, Oklahoma decided to play Caleb Willams at the starting quarterback position. So he led them with an impressive game, 5 touchdowns in the starting debut, 295 passing yards, ran for like 60-something yards, cooked the entire game. The defense was kind of up and down, but we saw all Caleb, no Rattler. So, Jimmy, I have to go ahead and ask you this question. Let's talk about Caleb Williams' performance. It's fair to say that he outperformed what Spencer Rattler's done his whole career.
Just erase his whole career.
Erase it
in one start. I wouldn't say he erased it, but he makes Sooner fans not want to think about any of the starts that Spencer Rattler had, even though he was good, even though he had his moments. This was what I guess Shannon Sharp would call a virtuoso performance. In his first true start as a true freshman. This guy's still a kid. He doesn't look like one, doesn't play like one, but he's a kid. You saw so many intangible things in this game that shows you why Lincoln Riley and the coaching staff, and we were skeptical of them making this move when we talked about it last week, but why they made the right move. First of all, energy. Anybody connected to that game, whether you're watching on television, in the stadium, everybody felt the energy. The fans, the coaches, the players, everybody felt the energy that Caleb Willams naturally brought to the field with him. And we saw some of this last week in Texas, both when he was on the field and on the sideline. So he brought the energy, seemed to have full command of the offense. What you look for in someone, in a young player making their first start at this position, NFL or college football, is do they look poised? When they drop back, do they look panicked? Do they have happy feet? Do they not know exactly where to go? Are they confused? Are they vomiting in the huddle? You look for stuff like that. And he looked very comfortable. It looked like he had full command of this offense. And I say that because it looked like there were portions of the playbook that they opened up that they hadn't opened up before because they didn't trust Rattler, which is going down the field. I swear, he went down the field maybe 7 or 8 times. It was either a connection or they got the pass interference call. So that puts everyone on notice in the Big 12 and beyond. As far as different parts of the field are now, it's open season on different parts of the field because you have him. And I saw shades of Kyler Murray in that. So I love what I saw.
So let me first say this: there is no apology for me at all whatsoever. This is not what I expected him to do, and this is the reason why. He's the first true freshman to start at OU since Cale Gundy did. Cale Gundy, right, in the 90s. Cale Gundy's offensive coordinator right now. So it's kind of, ironic, right, that OC's bringing in a true freshman since he's the last one to do it. And so this isn't something that Oklahoma ever does. I did say I would have started him against Kansas over this, but he did show why nationally he was the number 7th ranked on 24/7 Sports composite score, the number 2 quarterback in his recruiting class. He showed that, number 1 out of DC. He showed that. He showed that out there. He showed, like I said, he had command of that offense. He looked confident. The team felt completely different on those first 3 drives. Then he did the things that I was afraid of. Those long passes were awesome. They were all underthrown. That's not good, especially if you have secondary that's prepared for that. His receivers had to stop to catch them. Those were touchdowns. Usually, and to be honest, if it was Spencer Rattler, those were touchdowns. The problem is with Rattler when he was out there, the receivers weren't getting that type of separation. And I think the different dynamic that Caleb brings in is that you can't just blitz. Because if you blitz, what's he going to do? Scramble away from it, get set, launch that thing, or he's going to run it. But he's showing that he's more – it's funny. He shows more of a and now I'm not going this far.
Don't
I want
at
y'all to
me.
Yeah. I want you to hear me out when I finish this. He had some reminders. It reminded me a little bit of like Lamar Jackson, except for he didn't scramble or he's not as agile. What he was doing was, and also shades of Kyler Murray, he would scramble to pass it.
Yes.
He scrambled more to pass it and get people open. So that's where teams have to actually respect him in the backfield. They can't blitz. And we said this even when he came in against Texas. That was the dynamic I totally appreciated about him coming into the game, is that he gave them. He made defenses have to change the way they do things. And TCU had to change it up. Now, OU's defense didn't look as quality as it has been, but they still played a good game, in my opinion. OU's offense got back to what they used to do, which was score fast as hell, nonstop. And so the defense never gets a rest. Also, I didn't realize, I forgot this, is that the OU defense has like 5 set people in the secondary down. So like all the vets, Woody Washington, and I mean, there's a long list of the secondary. They're playing freshmen, true freshmen, redshirt freshmen, sophomores out in the secondary, so they don't even have the veterans out yet.
Right.
When they come back later in the season, that defense is gonna be stupid. But besides that, I loved what I saw out of Caleb, and I'm glad that Lincoln Riley's the head coach, and I'm not. That he decided to start him. It made sense. The good thing for them, too, is that Spencer Rattler's not leaving. So if Caleb does have a struggle game, which I can see that happening against Baylor in Baylor, I think Kansas will be an easy one. And Texas Tech is actually not bad. They're 4-2 this year, but they'll probably beat them up in Norman. But that Baylor game is going to be some work. So is Iowa State. And then, oh, my God, Bedlam's probably going to be against the number 2 versus the number 3 team in the country.
We hope so.
Because Oklahoma State's
Yeah.
Undefeated. They've also got 3 wins against top 25 teams, something that only Georgia has. And so Oklahoma's going to be going up against them in Stillwater in a very hostile environment. I'm going to have to go ahead and buy me some Bedlam tickets now. I think I'm going to have to go ahead and go out there for Thanksgiving weekend. Why not? I think it'd be worth it. Yeah. Just go ahead and splurge. Yeah. But anyway, no, I did enjoy his performance. Like I said, I'm not going to apologize to anybody in regards to my analysis the last time because I felt like we were right. Lincoln Riley is the head coach, so he said that, no, I think I'm going to go ahead and roll the dice. And the only concerns I had about Caleb did show TCU couldn't capitalize because those were interceptions. They should have been interceptions. So that's kind of my thoughts on that.
Right.
With that. So we'll see what Caleb does rest of the season. I expect high things. I think he may end up in the Heisman conversation, even this far back.
Yeah, I don't. Well, actually, no. What's saving him is that there's no clear-cut front runner.
There is zero clear-cut front runner except for one player that no one's really talking about. And you ready for me to tell you who?